Always the starting point for a facade remediation scheme is that we receive a report outlining the issues with the existing facade, and for this scheme it was clear that all of the facade finishes were a risk and that the whole facade needed to be replaced. Certainly the first impressions on what was a beautiful sunny day was this is a stunning building in a beautiful location. But also what was clear was that it was going to be a real challenge. There was a number of elderly residents. Underneath the entire building is retail units and shops, built up area that was going to be a challenge bringing large deliveries in, and the marina environment itself was going to mean there was going to be environmental aspects to consider. Just the geometry of the building was complicated.
Okay. Scaffold
access and loading was going to be a challenge. The reality is we're wrapping a building site around people's homes. We've developed an approach to tenant liaison around three core things: engagement, honesty and communication. So early engagement on this project, we hired out a pub a few months before we started the project, invited anyone that was a stakeholder in this project, residents, local businesses, and set out our plans, the programme, how we'd be working around the building, and we were honest about how it was going to impact their lives while we were there, restrictions on light, noise, and how we were going to communicate with them throughout the project. A2O were the principal contractor and had design responsibility for the replacement cladding. But we understand that we only know what we know. So it was important that we brought in a trusted set of design consultants to work with us on this scheme, and an independent facade consultant to check all of our design.
So often, early engagement is critical to these type of projects.
A2O is a design-led business. One of the interesting aspects of a facade remediation project is there's limited as-built information. So the starting point for our design was arranging a 3D scan of the building so that we had dimension drawings to import into our Revit model and use as the starting point for all of our elevation and detailing and ultimately material scheduling. We're also acting as the specialist facade contractor on the project with a 9-person in-house design team, which allows us to engage early, provide specialist knowledge, direct cost advice, and ultimately shortens all of the communication paths.
At Sixty8, our core competences in our internal design house, project management and installation really were evident throughout the programme. Our internal controls cover every aspect of that project, and as principal contractor we were involved from the enabling works, which included incredibly complex temporary propping, to the internal roofs of the shop units directly below, through to the design measures we needed for a marine environment, through to the actual installation and recording of every single fire barrier on the project. It's our commitment to quality and safety, which is why we've signed up to be an approved installer by the BRE for fire barriers. A2O were a key part in a professional team which included architects, structural engineers, fire engineers, building control, planning supervisors. It was their inspections which ensured that when the project finished on time and on budget at the end, it was instantly available for funding.